What's up, YouTube? This is James coming back at you with another informative video. I hope everybody's doing well out there on this Tuesday. I'm doing well myself. It was pretty warm out there, kind of muggy and everything, but we got a little rain, and that seemed to have cooled it off. And it's a very, very nice, pleasant breeze going through the air right now. So that worked for the good, out for the good right there. And I can definitely appreciate that. Well, I can say, as a people, sometimes, it's like we stuck between a rock and a hard place, simply because for everything that the enemy is not doing, you understand what I mean? It's like we got those of our own that's sitting out to do the will of the enemy. As in this case, right here. Y'all excuse this over here. I don't know why this old ad won't go away. It keeps playing in the background right there. But as I was saying, in this case right here, Sadie Roberts-Joseph, alleged murderer, arrested. Sex offender suspect was a tenant in one of her homes and owed rent. Okay? He owed rent. So it is rumored, allegedly, that he's the one that murdered this lady right here. Let's get into the story. An arrest has been made in the death of Baton Rouge civil rights activist Sadie Roberts-Joseph. How the hell? I'm just adding this right here. You are black, and she is black. Period. How are you murdering someone that has this title right here, civil rights activist? You understand that? This is the point I'm making. Sorry, bastard. If it's true, you need to be put down. That's all there is to it. Israel, and I'm talking to Israel. You understand? It is imperative that we start getting back to our roots. You see, because this pagan ass system that we live in allows reprobates to run wild and do heinous crimes, you understand, to our own people, even when they're considered one of our own. Okay? We're going to have to get back to doing things like the Most High said for us to do, see, as He willed for us to do as a people. Baton Rouge police announced the arrest of 38-year-old Ronnie Jermaine Bell Tuesday, July 16th, in a news conference, the Advocate reports. Police said Bell, who is a registered sex offender, was a tenant of Roberts Joseph in one of her properties. He was reportedly, look how that read. He was several months behind, on his rent and owed her $1,200. But Chief Murphy Paul said a motive hadn't been officially determined. There's no information which leads us to believe that this is a hate crime, Paul said. There's no information which leads us to believe that this incident was motivated by Miss Sadie's activism or her community efforts. Regardless of what evidence it is, the bastard, if he did it, he murdered her. Okay, made no difference why. It was a hate crime. He hated her at the moment because his sorry ass owed her $1,200 and he didn't want to pay. Didn't want to pay his rent, and she wanted to evict him, and he hated her for doing that. Okay, and he murdered her. If this is what happened, okay. Crazy, man. Sadie Roberts-Joseph, an icon in the black community in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, was found dead Friday afternoon, July 12th, in the trunk of her car located about 3 miles away from her home. According to results of a preliminary autopsy released on Monday, July 15th, by East Baton Rouge Parish Coroner's Office, 75-year-old Roberts-Joseph died from traumatic asphyxia, including suffocation, which could be the result of strangulation. However, the coroner didn't specify exactly how she was killed. Her death was ruled a homicide. Video evidence showed the murder suspect near where Roberts-Joseph's car and body were found Friday. An affidavit said that his DNA was found on her body. Okay, there it is right there. Bell acknowledged during the investigation that he was behind on his rent, but he had given permission by Roberts to stay at the home as long as he paid her something. Well, what happened? The fucker stopped paying? Fucking lowlife, man, I tell you. Roberts-Joseph's death shocked Baton Rouge community and left it in a state of mourning. The activist was the founder of curator of the city's African American History Museum and hosted the annual Juneteenth festivities. I mean, he had no regard for this lady's life, this woman's life, and all her achievements, and knowing that she loved her people. You understand? Even was helping his sorry ass stay, in the house long as he paid her something. That's what it says here. He said that out of his own mouth. See? If he did this, he needs to be put down. That's all to it. Local and state leaders have mourned her loss and have been praising Roberts-Joseph's accomplishments in the days since her tragic death. I'm heartbroken that our community has lost such a kind of selfless soul in such a violent, traumatic manner. East Baton Rouge Sheriff Sid Grutro, that's one of them weird, said in a statement, I have known and loved Miss Sadie Roberts-Joseph for years and admired and respected her dedication to education and our community. He tried to silence Miss Sadie, but her voice will continue to ring strong for her peace and love through the countless people she touched. State Representative C. Denise Marcel of Baton Rouge called Roberts-Joseph an icon, while Mayor President Sharon Weston Brom lauded her as a mother of the community. Ron Bell has a criminal record that dates back to the early 2000s for a child rape case. He was arrested in 2006 after being accused of raping a 9-year-old child in 2004 when he was 23 years old. See, this is what happens when you slap criminals on the wrist. Biblically, this man right here was supposed to be put to death. He was supposed to be stoned, or like the Messiah HaMashiach said, for any man that rapes a child or misleads a child in a sexual, deviancy and all that other kind of stuff, or murder or what have you, rape, all that kind of stuff. It is better for him to have a millstone hung around his neck and cast into the sea. You know what that means. See, and that wouldn't be extreme, because I can assure you, if they had did that to this bastard a long time ago when he was doing these things, his 9-year-old and all that other kind of stuff, he wouldn't have been here to murder this lady right here, Miss Sadie. You understand that? He would not have been here to do this. The Bible, it condones getting rid of filth in your society. See, when you let these things continue to happen, there's no need to turn around and ask God, why is this happening? Ask yourself. It's happening because you refuse to do things accordingly to the way the Most High said to do. You're supposed to make example of lowlifes like this, so then you will put this kind of thing from among your people. This is all in the word of the Most High. It's your King James version. This is what's supposed to happen. But see, long as you decide that you want to go against the Most High and His words and His laws, statutes, and commandments, you're gonna have things like this happen. This is what it is. So for those of you that's out there saying, well, Lord, why is this all this stuff? Yeah, well, the reason is that's on us as a people. Ask ourselves, which I already know. But back to the story. He was charged with aggravated rape, but ended up copping to a sexual battery charge after taking a plea deal and was sentenced to 7 years in prison. Now he gets out and murdered an activist, a community activist for black folks, just because she wouldn't let his nasty ass lay up in her home, free. If he felt like that's where his stinking ass going back to anyway, he could have went out here and robbed a damn store. If he wanted to lay up somewhere free and locked his ass up, he could have been in prison. That's where he headed now anyway, although as far as I'm concerned, the fucker should get capital punishment. Police said Bell had already been arrested in jail Monday on another charge related to violating the requirements for registered sex offenders when he was ID'd as a suspect in the murder of Sadie Roberts-Joseph. He was rebooked Tuesday afternoon on account of first-degree murder. Now that all the damage is done, now that this woman is, lost her physical life and dwellings, now they want to book him back and all this old bullshit. Man, oh man, oh man, oh man. It's important that we cleanse our race as a people of trash and filth. Those of the ones that wants to aid the enemy in their quest to destroy us. That's what this boils down to. And there's never, in situations like this, what I'm saying is never too extreme, because the Bible, this is what the Bible wants. This is what the word of the Most High, this is what He said, His law, statutes, and commandments wants. Just like that guy, I did the story about that stole the woman's car that she left running with her 3 children in it. If that guy had got away with that car, guess what? It's a good possibility that we would have been reading some fucked up story down the line that this bastard stole the car and the kids was found dead. That would have been awfully extreme. Too extreme for me. So I'd rather have the kind of extreme that where they got rid of his ass so he can never, ever put his hands on anybody else's belongings and or still, hell, even if he was a car thief, he looked in that car and seen 3 children in it and still took it. What does it tell you about him? A reprobate do not care who they harm, who they bring harm to, as in this case. But y'all tell me what y'all think about this situation. I'm interested in hearing y'all thoughts and y'all opinions on this story. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. And this is James, and I'm out. Peace.